My dear one, my precious light, listen closely. These next 5 minutes are not like any other. They carry a weight that can change everything. Archangel Michael is right beside you, leaning close, saying, "Don't skip this. Don't let your blessing pass you by while you look away." Something serious has already started moving toward your life. Heaven has seen it. Your name has been spoken in the highest place, and your angels are already on assignment. The moment you fully open this message, the blessing that's been waiting will start to flow. But if you ignore this now, you will remember it as one of your hardest mistakes. Pause for a second. Take a breath. Feel that tug inside your chest. That isn't fear, that's your spirit knowing heaven is calling your name with urgency. That's why Michael broke through everything to reach you, saying, "Stay with me." Before I go deeper, hear this, make sure you stay connected. Subscribe now, because every word sent to you from above is on purpose. If you disconnect, the enemy will try again to cut you off. The clock is already ticking. In the unseen world, a door is shaking. A shadow is planning to surprise you. But God already stepped in and broke the trap. What decides what happens next is not the shadow's strength but your choice, to open, believe, and receive. Heaven says, one step of faith can cancel thousands of steps meant to destroy you. You are chosen. That's why this problem has your name on it, because the enemy fears you. He fears what you'll become when your blessing is finally released. And guess what? It's already approved, waiting, sealed, glowing with light. The only thing left is your yes. Michael says, "I'm here to guard you, but you can't ignore this moment." The second you open your heart, chains will snap, and heaven's river will flood your life. Every second that passes is heaven's countdown. Don't waste even one. Words can't be wasted right now. Michael says, a serious problem is at your door in the next 5 minutes. If you ignore this, it'll be the darkest mistake of your life. But if you listen and receive, heaven will pour out blessings that were held back for years. Feel that trembling inside? That's not fear. That's recognition. Your spirit knows this is not random. This was written into your story before you were born. God saw this exact moment, the one where you almost scroll away or step into your miracle. And heaven said, "Send Michael now. Don't skip this. Don't let the blessing slip by because of distraction." The shadow's name has been spoken before the throne. The angels know it. God has declared your release. But if you treat this like nothing, if you call it coincidence, you'll feel the weight of what was lost. Time is racing. 5 minutes is all heaven gave for this turning point. You've walked in circles carrying weights you were never meant to hold. Now Michael is here to cut those chains. Imagine your life free from this heaviness. Imagine your table full. Imagine your family safe. Imagine your tomorrow overflowing with miracles. It all comes down to this, whether you stay open or walk away. Before I take you deeper, remember this: stay connected. Subscribe now, because what comes after this is even greater. This isn't just another message, it's your lifeline. If you disconnect, the enemy wins. But if you stay plugged in, nothing will cut you off from the strength that keeps you standing. Your story is about to shift. Yes, the problem is real, but it's no match for God's covering. Michael is already at your side with a fiery sword, but he needs your yes. If you believe, the problem won't crush you. It will reveal itself and disappear. The attack that came to break you will become the key to unlock your blessing. You've asked, why me? Heaven answers, because you're chosen. The enemy shakes because he knows once your blessing comes, his grip is broken forever. That's why Michael pleads. That's why the air feels heavy, because the fight already started in the unseen. Lean in now. These words are not random, they are life. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Every sentence is unlocking something for you. You're not here by accident. This is your summons. God says, don't waste this chance. This is your turning point. What you do now will echo for years. Heaven doesn't waste words. If Michael showed up, it's because destiny's clock already struck. Your name has been shouted in heaven's halls, and it set angels in motion. A problem was allowed to knock, but not to destroy you. Only to show what's about to be released. Can't you feel it? That tension? That heaviness? The thought that you almost skipped this but something stronger held you? That's God making sure you don't miss your breakthrough. The attack may look serious, but what comes after will be glorious. Every blessing shows up after a fight. Have you noticed the enemy shows up hardest right before your big win? When the door is about to open, the shadows rattle it. But heaven knows. Michael stands at the threshold, sword ready, saying, "Don't fear, I know the name of the shadow." The one plotting against you was called out before the throne. He thought he was hidden. He was wrong. And now, as you keep listening, the seal on your blessing is breaking. The release is starting. That's why I beg you, don't stop. Don't turn away. Don't let distraction steal this. The countdown has started. In the spirit, the last grains of sand are falling. The door is shaking. Something wants to enter, but you're not defenseless. Heaven says, if you open, if you align, if you believe, this shadow can't win. But if you ignore, it will mark you. Every blessing you prayed for is waiting on your yes. Heaven is ready to flood your life with peace, restoration, and joy. But your choice unlocks it. Michael begs, don't waste this. Look back at your life. How many times did you feel close to change only to lose it? How many times did the promise vanish at the last second? That's why this is urgent. This time, heaven says enough. The problem can knock, but it won't devour. The shadow can show up, but it won't destroy. Because this time is different. The very attack against you will become the stage for heaven's glory. And you will finally see what's been delayed for too long. Heaven has seen every tear you cried. Every night you wondered if anyone cared. Every prayer that felt unanswered was stored before God's throne. Nothing wasted. And now those prayers are tipping into your life. But before the breakthrough, a shadow rises. It knocks loud, trying to scare you into quitting. That knock is already here. Don't confuse the sound for defeat, it's the sound of exposure. Heaven called out its name. Michael declared, "This is the moment my child rises." That heaviness you feel isn't fear. It's recognition. Your spirit knows this is different. You could have scrolled past like before, but something pulled you here. That's God refusing to let you miss what's about to happen. Yes, a problem is moving toward you, but God already wrote the ending. What looks like danger is a setup for deliverance. What feels like an attack is the stage for your miracle. The key is your response. If you stay open, if you keep receiving, blessings will be released without delay. Think about the patterns. How many near misses have you faced? How many almost breakthroughs turned into disappointment? That wasn't random. Those were spiritual blockades. But God says the cycle ends now. The shadow's name was spoken in heaven, and once heaven names it, it loses power. This is your advantage. What thought it could take will leave empty-handed. In its place, God will pour blessings beyond what you imagine. Michael stands ready, sword in hand, waiting for your yes. This urgency is real because the clock is ticking. A serious problem is close, but heaven doesn't want fear, it wants faith. The enemy can knock, but angels guard the door. What came to break you will prove heaven chose you. That pressure you feel is the weight of doors swinging open. Blessings you've waited for are pressing to pour out. But the key is your obedience. Don't treat this like nothing. Don't call it chance. Don't let doubt rob you, because when you align with heaven, nothing can stop what's coming. Delays will shatter. Restoration will flood. Empty places will overflow. This is not like before. This is your release. Ignore it and the blessing retreats. Receive it and the blessing explodes. You're at a spiritual doorway, and Michael has torn off the blindfold. The shadow can knock, but its sound is hollow because angels are ready. Your name is in heaven's victory book, and today it starts unfolding. Heaven knows the battles you fought alone. The tears. The strength it took to keep going. This message burns because heaven says, your silence is over. Yes, the knock is real, but it's the last shadow before dawn. The enemy fights hardest when he knows he's losing. He knocks louder. But that's proof your blessing is closer than ever. The fight isn't proof of failure. It's proof of victory. Michael whispers now, I'm guarding you. Stay awake. The countdown is on. Can you feel the urgency? The air feels heavy because the battle is thick. But don't fear, God wrote the ending. And the ending is triumph. That's why you're here. That's why you couldn't scroll past. Something in you knew, this is not random. This is heaven's appointment. Think of the storms you survived. Times you almost gave up but didn't. Who held you? Heaven did. And now that same God is ready to lift you higher. But before the crown comes the test. Before the release comes the knock. Don't let the knock fool you. Don't confuse the shaking, it's the old doors breaking so new ones can open. This is your turning point. This is the moment everything shifts. And if you stay, nothing can stop what God is about to do. The enemy fears your future more than your present. He knows what you'll become when the blessing hits. That's why storms rise. But what he didn't expect was this. Heaven exposing him and God saying, enough. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The knock may sound strong, but heaven's authority is stronger. What was sent to break you will prove you can't be broken. Have you wondered why delays ruled your life? Every time a door opened, something closed it. Every time hope came near, it slipped away. Those weren't accidents, they were blockades. But hear this, they're collapsing now. That knock you sense? It feels scary, but it's the sound of walls falling. Once they fall, blessings held for years will rush like a river, and nothing will stop it. Heaven is setting your table. The same shadow that tried to destroy you will confirm that you were chosen. You'll look back and say, this was the moment everything changed. One act of faith can undo years of delay. One yes can open doors for generations. You're not fighting for you alone. You're breaking chains for your family and those tied to your destiny. That's why this moment carries so much weight. Heaven sees the ripple effect of your yes. And that's why Michael cries, open now. Every big shift in history started with a moment like this. Before Israel walked through the Red Sea, the army chased them. Before David wore the crown, a giant stood in the way. Before Jesus rose, the cross pressed heavy. The pattern is the same, a knock, a shadow, a threat before the glory. So it is for you. The knock is not your end. It's proof your new beginning is here. If the enemy didn't fear you, he wouldn't fight you this hard. His desperation proves the blessing is close. My child, heaven wrote your name in this chapter. The knock may be loud, but God's voice is louder. My child will not be destroyed. What comes against them will show my hand is strong. You're reading this because heaven timed it. As you breathe these words, something shifts. Doors that were locked are cracking open. Chains that held your family are breaking. Every word is hitting those chains until they snap. Blessings are not random, they are timed. Heaven waited for your obedience to release them. That time is now. Michael speaks loud because your release is scheduled and the enemy knows he can't stop it. His only hope is distraction. But you're awake now. You know his knock is a sign of heaven's door opening wider than ever. The problem at your door isn't punishment, it's proof of your calling. Shadows don't knock where there's nothing to steal. They knock where treasure is stored. And you carry treasure. That's why he came. Heaven marked you for impact. That's why the shadows gather. But hear this, they fight only because they know they're about to lose. Michael waits for your yes. Have you noticed this season feels heavier than others? That's because the closer the blessing, the harder the fight. But resistance always falls under God's timing. And you're standing at the edge of that fall. The knock is not power, it's panic. The enemy knows his grip is slipping. He knows the blessing can't be stopped. And if you hold on, if you stay at the door, you'll see miracles no one thought possible. You are chosen. You are marked. Every battle, every tear was shaping you for this. Don't believe the lie you're forgotten. If you were forgotten, these words wouldn't have found you. But heaven stopped everything to say, open now. This is your release. In moments, you'll see blessings take form in ways you never dreamed. Heaven was always closer than you thought, even in silence. The angels wrote your cries, saved your tears, waited for this command. That command came now. Michael says, the problem at your door won't destroy you. It will reveal what's hidden, and your blessing will finally break through. That's why ignoring this shuts the door on everything you prayed for. Think carefully. 5 minutes may sound small, but in heaven's time it's a door of destiny. God always moves in sudden windows. One prayer saved Esther's people. One stone changed Israel. One cross cry changed eternity. And today, one decision will mark your future. That's why Michael speaks loud. That's why your spirit shakes. This isn't random. This is the door you've circled for years. God says, step through. If you knew what's waiting behind it, you wouldn't hesitate a second. The enemy fears these words because they break his hold. The chains of delay snap. The locks on your blessing burst. The floodgates swing wide. That's why he knocks hard, to scare you into walking away. But not this time. You are awake now. You know this is real. And as you stay, as you read, your faith is triggering the release. The shadow's knock is nothing next to heaven's roar, blessing, go. Do you see it? Every delay was design. Every silence was set up. The knock is not danger, it's a signal that the shift has begun. What's rising against you isn't stronger than you, it's proof your destiny can't be hidden. When heaven names a thing, its end is written. And heaven named this shadow. Michael says, don't miss this. Your life is extraordinary. The fight proves it. Think of the nights you almost quit. The mornings you had no strength. Yet you rose again. That wasn't chance, that was heaven carrying you. Now you see why. Those tears were seeds. Those struggles were training. You're standing at the edge of harvest. And the knock is the sound of walls falling. The enemy wants you to think it's disaster. Heaven calls it deliverance. The fight before the flood is always the hardest. And the blessings waiting for you won't just fill your cup, they'll overflow to your family, to generations. That's why the enemy attacks so fierce. He knows your yes will bless many. Heaven multiplies, never limits. That's why Michael says, don't close your ears. Don't turn away. Stay. Because this moment is heavy with destiny. The knock is the enemy's last try before heaven's flood breaks loose. The heavens are aligned now. What you feel isn't defeat, it's the trembling of walls collapsing. Jericho looked unshakable, until one shout of faith knocked it flat. That's what's happening now. The shadow looks strong, but it's hollow. Heaven already stripped its power. Michael stands sword up, waiting for your shout of faith. When it comes, the shadow falls and blessings rise. There's a reason you're still reading, even if part of you wonders why. It's because this isn't normal. Your soul knows it. Heaven picked this moment to call you. Michael doesn't show up for ordinary. He shows up for critical. And now he's saying, don't waste this. If you knew what's waiting after the knock, you wouldn't wait another second. The blessing is bigger than the problem. The shadow is loud, but God's promise is louder. The enemy's fight is temporary. Heaven's word is final. The attack isn't a curse, it's confirmation you're chosen. This is why Michael won't stop pressing you. Don't walk away now. The door is opening. The flood is ready. Every blessing you've waited for is trembling to pour out. And the air around you is heavy because heaven is leaning close. Your appointed time is here. You are standing at the threshold. You are standing at the threshold, and the heavens are not silent about it. The reason the air feels heavy right now is because something eternal is pressing into your moment. This is not imagination, it's a spiritual collision. When light collides with darkness, it creates weight, a tension that every sensitive soul can feel. And if you're honest, you feel it now. Why? Because everything you've carried, everything you've battled, every unanswered prayer, has been converging for this precise season. The enemy didn't show up because you're weak. He didn't knock because you're failing. He knocked because the treasure inside you is finally shaking the ground. He wants you distracted, because if you stay focused, he loses everything. Michael says again, listen. This isn't just a message, it's a doorway. Step through. The pattern has been the same since the beginning of time. Before promotion comes pressure, before the throne comes the trial. Before the promise comes the giant. The question is never about the giant, it's about your stance. And heaven has already armed you. But your activation depends on one thing, your choice to remain open right now. You've wondered why you've faced cycles, why every time a blessing seemed near, something came to snatch it away. It wasn't bad luck, it was warfare. The enemy saw the pattern before you did. He knew that once your hands touched the blessing, it would multiply and flood not just your life, but your bloodline. Generations are tied to this moment. That's why the pressure feels like it could break you. But hear me, what feels like breaking is actually birthing. You are not standing on sinking ground, you are standing on the edge of your Red Sea moment. Remember what God did then? The waters didn't part until they stepped forward. They didn't wait for safety, they moved by faith. And heaven is saying the same to you now, step forward. This is your crossing. This is your deliverance. The shadows know it. That's why they knock louder. That's why your nights feel heavier. That's why your thoughts have been a storm. They're trying to exhaust you before the release. But you've lasted this long for a reason, you're stronger than you think. And heaven is reinforcing you right now. Michael stands guard, but he needs your agreement. When you align, angels move without resistance. So what does alignment look like? It's not complicated. It starts with staying in this flow, don't cut it short. Distraction is the enemy's tool because he knows one interruption can abort a breakthrough. Heaven is saying, lock in now. Because the next few minutes aren't random words, they're weapons. Every sentence you receive is loosening chains, dismantling altars, tearing down what tried to cage you. You've been asking, God, when? And heaven answers, now. But the manifestation isn't delayed by heaven, it's delayed when fear makes us pull back. Fear says, scroll away. Faith says, stay and believe. And as you choose faith in this exact moment, something begins moving in the unseen. Doors you can't see yet are swinging wide. The blessing you thought was gone is circling back, this time with interest. The enemy tried to convince you were forgotten, but why would these words be pulling at you if you were forgotten? Forgotten people don't get angelic interruptions. Forgotten people don't get Michael dispatched with fire in his eyes. Forgotten people don't feel this kind of weight on their soul. You feel it because you're marked. Heaven's signature is on your life. That's why demons rage, they know your name echoes in heaven's courts. And let me tell you this, the same God who spoke galaxies into being has already spoken over your life. His word doesn't return empty. It doesn't expire. If he said blessing, blessing comes. If he said restoration, it will unfold no matter how long hell fought it. Your fight didn't cancel it, your fight confirmed it. The enemy only fights what he fears. And he fears you. But there's something you need to grasp right now, this problem knocking at your door. It isn't the end. It's a prophetic signal that you've hit the threshold. Shadows knock the loudest when the door is about to swing open. So don't let the sound scare you. Let it remind you, the shift is already in motion. Michael says, keep your eyes open. Keep your spirit awake. Don't bow to the pressure. bow only to the promise. Because in the unseen, heaven is already preparing a table for you. The same table that Psalm 23 says is set in the presence of your enemies. Notice, God doesn't remove the enemies first. He blesses you in front of them. Why? To prove His hand is on you. To silence the voice that said you'd fail. This is why the atmosphere feels heavy right now. You're about to sit at that table. And the enemy can't stop it. He can only try to distract you before you get there. Don't let him. Lean in closer. Because as you do, chains aren't just falling from you, they're falling from your family line. This breakthrough is generational. The curses that stalked your bloodline are being broken in this moment. Imagine this, doors you thought were locked forever are opening right now. Contracts being signed. Favor being granted. Healing flowing. Relationships restored. Purpose reignited. All because you stayed when the enemy screamed, "Walk away." That's the difference between those who step into destiny and those who miss it. Persistence in the pressure. The countdown is real. The spiritual clock has been ticking since the moment this message found you. It's not coincidence, it's divine alignment. God synchronized this moment with your life because He knew you'd need this exact word at this exact time. And now heaven leans in and whispers, "Don't quit. Don't scroll. Don't disconnect. This is the turning point. Everything you've endured has led here. And the reward will make the pain look small. You won't just recover, you'll overflow. What you lost will return multiplied. What was delayed will arrive accelerated. The drought will break into rivers. The closed heavens will shatter open. And your story will shift from almost to abundance. But it hinges on your next decision. Will you receive or reject? Heaven won't force it. God respects your will. But know this, the door won't stay open forever. These windows are prophetic. When they close, the season shifts. That's why Michael presses with urgency. He knows what's at stake. He knows how much blessing is hanging in the balance. Don't let fear write the next chapter of your story. Let faith do it. Because faith has always been the key that unlocks the impossible. One act of obedience changed Abraham's lineage. One prayer shifted Hannah's sorrow to joy. One shout brought Jericho's walls down. And one yes from you can flip your whole future. So right now, before this window closes, say yes in your spirit. Say yes to heaven's alignment. Yes to breakthrough. Yes to chains breaking. Yes to blessings flooding. Yes to destiny unfolding. Say it and mean it. Because the moment you do, something happens in the spirit. It's not theory, it's truth. Angels respond to faith. Heaven moves on agreement. Michael stands ready. The sword is raised. The shadow still knocks, but its strength is spent. The enemy's roar is just noise. His teeth were broken when Jesus crushed the serpent's head. So don't fear the sound. Don't fear the shaking. Fear only missing what heaven scheduled for you. This is the hour. This is the pivot. And as you lean in, as you align, as you stay under this covering, the release begins. Your life will not remain the same. The problem that threatened you will testify for you. The shadow that scared you will become the stage for your blessing. And generations will thank you because you didn't give up in this moment. Heaven is roaring over you, blessing, come forth. Destiny, arise. Chains, break. Doors, open. The countdown ends now. Step through. Walk bold. This is your release. This is your overflow. And no shadow, no knock, no demon, no delay can stop it. Heaven has spoken. Michael has moved. The rest is your yes. So here's the last thing heaven says: stay connected. Do not disconnect from this stream of prophetic flow. Every word sent to you next will build on this moment. If you unplug, the enemy will use that gap. Stay covered. Stay in alignment. Because the season ahead is not ordinary, it's historic. And your name is written all over it. This isn't the end. It's the doorway. And you've already put your hand on the handle. Turn it now. Step in. And watch heaven rewrite your story in ways you never imagined. It begins now.